Transform your morning routine for success. Part 1. The power of owning your morning. A successful life rarely begins by accident. It begins with structure, intention, and the ability to command the first hour of your day before the world has a chance to pull you in 100 directions. Your morning sets your identity. It tells your mind who is in control, you or your circumstances. When people say, "I'll start later, I'll fix it tomorrow," or "I'm too tired to do it today," what they are really saying is that life is directing them instead of the other way around. Your morning is the first victory of the day, the moment where you either claim momentum or surrender it. Think of it like the opening move in a game of chess. One strong opening can shape the entire outcome. A weak one leaves you reacting instead of leading. If you look at high performers, industry leaders, elite athletes, and those who build extraordinary lives, you'll notice one pattern. Their morning is non-negotiable. It doesn't matter if they wake up at 4 a.m. or 8 a.m. What matters is that the first hour of their day belongs to them, not to social media, not to chaos, not to other people's demands. That first hour is where identity is built. Identity builds habits. Habits build results. And results build your life. The truth is simple. Your morning routine is the foundation of your success routine. If your morning is scattered, your day will be scattered. If your morning is powerful, your day becomes powerful. Many people wake up every day already behind, rushing to get ready, scrolling endlessly, trying to find motivation, and hoping the day goes well instead of designing it to go well. They live in reaction mode. They start the day with anxiety, stress, and zero clarity, then wonder why everything feels overwhelming. But imagine a different version of yourself, the one who wakes up with intention, with a clear mind, with focus, with energy. Imagine the version of you who isn't rushing, but leading. Imagine having time, real time, for yourself before the noise of the world begins. That version of you is not a fantasy. It's a choice. The most powerful moments of your routine will not be the loud ones, but the quiet ones. The moment you wake up and choose discipline over comfort. The moment you decide to speak to yourself instead of listening to your fears. The moment you plan instead of reacting. The moment you breathe, reflect, and take ownership of your direction. A successful morning routine is not about copying someone else's schedule. It's about building the version of your morning that aligns with your life, your goals, and your long-term vision. What matters is that your morning becomes a launch pad, something that elevates you instead of draining you. There are 3 foundational principles behind every powerful morning routine, and understanding them will change the way you approach your day. First is identity alignment. Before you can transform your habits, you must transform how you see yourself. If you believe you're someone who struggles, you will keep struggling. If you believe you're someone who executes, you will execute. Your morning routine isn't about the tasks. It's about reinforcing the identity of the person you're becoming. Second is mental clarity. In the modern world, distractions are constant. Your mind is hit with noise the moment you pick up your phone. A powerful morning protects your mental space. It gives you clarity before confusion. It gives you direction before distraction. Clarity is the engine of productivity and the foundation of effective decision-making. Third is energy management. Your morning is where you create the physical, emotional, and psychological energy that fuels your entire day. It's not enough to wake up. You must wake up with strength. When you understand how to generate energy on command, everything in your life improves. Your productivity, your discipline, your mood, your confidence, and your overall performance. Success requires energy. Focus requires energy. Discipline requires energy. Your morning routine is where that energy begins. Many people think they need motivation to improve their mornings. But motivation is inconsistent. Discipline is dependable. If you wait to feel like doing it, you'll never build the future you want. You don't need motivation, you need structure. When structure takes over, discipline becomes natural. And once discipline takes root, your life transforms. A powerful morning does not come from doing everything perfectly. It comes from doing the right things consistently. It comes from waking up with intention instead of allowing life to dictate your pace. It comes from understanding that you don't need more time in your day. You need more control over the time you already have. Your morning routine is the simplest way to take back control. Think of your future self, the one you dream about, the one who has achieved what you currently want, the one who lives with confidence and clarity. That version of you does not wake up by accident. They wake up by design. They wake up with purpose. They wake up with a strategy. And you are capable of becoming that version of yourself starting now. This transformation is not about waking up early for the sake of it. It's about building a mindset of intention. It's about reclaiming the part of your day that most people waste. It's about becoming someone who commands their life instead of waiting for life to get easier. Your morning is your advantage. Your morning is your leverage. Your morning is your identity in action. Part 2. Why most morning routines fail and how to build one that works. Most people attempt to build a morning routine with good intentions, but within days or weeks, the structure collapses. They try again, fall off again, and the cycle continues until they believe something is wrong with them. But the truth is far more empowering. The problem isn't the person. The problem is the system. If your morning routine isn't designed for your life, your psychology, your habits, and your long-term goals, it will never stick. You could try to follow the morning routine of a billionaire or copy what you see online, but if it doesn't align with the person you are becoming, it won't last. A morning routine must be engineered, not imitated. Let's break down the real reasons morning routines fail and exactly how to fix them. The first major reason is overcomplication. Many people create a morning routine that is far too complex. They try to pack in meditation, journaling, exercise, reading, affirmations, planning, deep work, cold showers, breath work, visualization, gratitude lists, and a dozen other habits all at once. The routine becomes a burden instead of a path to success. It becomes something they dread instead of something that empowers them. Simplicity is the backbone of consistency. The best morning routines in the world are built from a few powerful actions done every day, not a long list of tasks done sporadically. A routine should streamline your life, not suffocate it. The second reason morning routines fail is lack of identity alignment. You can't force yourself to behave like a high performer if you still think like someone who struggles. Identity drives behavior. When you say, "I'm not a morning person," your mind will make sure your habits match that belief. You will hit snooze. You will feel groggy. You will sabotage your progress. You must shift the narrative from, "I'm trying to build a morning routine," to, "I am someone who takes ownership of my morning." That single shift creates consistency without force. You begin acting like the person you believe yourself to be. The third reason morning routines collapse is poor energy management. It doesn't matter how well structured your morning routine is if you go to bed drained, distracted, or overstimulated. A powerful morning begins the night before. Sleep quality, mental stress, digital overload, all of these shape how you wake up. If you fall asleep with chaos, you wake up with chaos. Your evening routine impacts your morning routine more than most people realize. If your nights are inconsistent, your mornings will also be inconsistent. Your body, your brain, and your discipline all rely on predictable recovery. The fourth reason morning routines fall apart is lack of clarity. Many people wake up knowing they should do something, but they don't know why. Without a compelling purpose, the routine becomes a chore. You must connect your morning habits directly to your long-term goals. If your morning routine helps you become wealthier, healthier, smarter, calmer, or more disciplined, then it becomes meaningful. And anything meaningful becomes sustainable. The fifth reason people fail to maintain a routine is inconsistency on weekends. They build momentum Monday through Friday and then destroy their rhythm on Saturday and Sunday. When they return to the routine on Monday, it feels harder than starting from scratch. Consistency is the foundation of transformation. Even a simplified weekend routine keeps your identity stable. Now that we understand why morning routines fail, the next step is building a system that works, one that is simple, powerful, and sustainable. Start with one anchor habit. This is the single most important action that starts your day with intention. It may be planning your day, drinking water, stretching for 3 minutes, reading something positive, journaling your thoughts, or taking a quiet walk. Choose the habit that gives you the greatest return mentally or emotionally. Anchor habits create psychological momentum. Once the anchor is solid, you can add one more habit, slowly, strategically, intentionally. This is where most people go wrong. They try to build 10 habits at once and maintain none. If you build one habit at a time, each one becomes permanent. 1 becomes 2. 2 becomes 3. Suddenly, your morning feels powerful instead of overwhelming. Once you establish your anchor habit, focus on consistency over intensity. A powerful morning routine is not about how long it is, but how automatic it becomes. If you stretch for 2 minutes every morning, that habit is more effective than a full workout done once a week. Small, consistent actions shape identity faster than grand, inconsistent ones. Another key strategy is making your routine friction-free. Your environment should support your routine, not work against it. If you want to read in the morning, place your book where you'll see it. If you want to hydrate, put water at your bedside. If you want to avoid your phone, keep it in another room. Your environment should eliminate excuses before they appear. Equally important is removing the idea that a morning routine must be perfect. Life happens. You may oversleep, feel exhausted, or wake up stressed. A successful routine is flexible, not rigid. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is ownership. Even a 5-minute version of your routine is enough to protect your identity and maintain momentum. A powerful morning routine is built around intention, identity, clarity, simplicity, and consistency. If any one of those pieces is missing, the structure will eventually break. But when they work together, your morning becomes unstoppable. Now consider this. Each morning is a vote for the person you are becoming. Every decision reinforces your identity. Every habit pushes you closer to mastery or pulls you away from it. Your life is not shaped by big dramatic moments, but by the small choices made consistently over time. Your morning routine is the simplest, most effective way to cast those votes every day. When you eliminate overcomplication, align your habits with your identity, manage your energy, create clarity, and build consistency, everything changes. Your decisions improve. Your confidence grows. Your discipline strengthens. Your day becomes structured instead of chaotic. And your long-term success becomes inevitable. This is why mastering your morning is not optional. It is foundational. Part 3. The psychology behind powerful mornings. If you want a morning routine that truly works, you must understand something most people never think about. Your morning success is psychological long before it becomes behavioral. People often say, "I just need more discipline." But discipline isn't created in the morning. It's created in the mind. Everything begins with how your brain interprets the start of your day. If your mornings feel rushed, chaotic, confusing, or stressful, your brain enters a reactive state. In a reactive state, you respond to problems instead of directing your life. You spend your day extinguishing fires instead of building something meaningful. You move from distraction to distraction, never gaining control. You lose time, energy, and focus. But when your morning begins with intention, structure, and clarity, your brain enters a proactive state. In this state, you make better decisions, think strategically, focus deeply, and stay disciplined longer. You don't react, you direct. You don't chase, you create. A proactive mind is the foundation of a powerful life. Understanding this shift is the essence of why morning routines are so transformative. Neurologically, the brain is most impressionable within the first 30 to 60 minutes after waking. This is when your subconscious is highly active, your mental filters are low, and your mind is open to influence. Whatever you feed your brain during this window shapes your mood, your thoughts, your confidence, and your productivity for the rest of the day. This is why grabbing your phone immediately derails so many people. When you look at messages, notifications, opinions, problems, or updates before you've centered yourself, you hijack your mind. You allow the outside world to control your internal world. Your brain becomes scattered before it becomes grounded. You lose authority over your attention before the day even starts. This early moment is not small. It is the most important moment of your morning. If you want to master your mornings, you must master this psychological window. Your brain also responds intensely to what psychologists call cues. A cue is anything your environment uses to trigger a habit or emotional state. If your phone is next to your pillow, the cue is instant stimulation. If your room is cluttered, the cue is disorder. If your alarms are inconsistent, the cue is unpredictability. If your mornings are rushed, the cue is stress. Your environment tells your brain how to behave before you consciously realize it. This is why high performers make their environment intentional. The moment they wake up, everything around them pushes them toward clarity, not chaos. Their room is simplified. Their alarm is consistent. Their clothes are prepared. Their journal or water is already within reach. There is no friction between waking up and stepping into focus. This is the psychology of strategic design. Your morning environment should remove decisions, not create them. Decision fatigue is one of the greatest killers of discipline. The more decisions you make early in the day, the more mental energy you burn. A morning routine isn't just about what you do. It's also about what you eliminate. Another powerful psychological factor is momentum. People underestimate the force of starting small. Your brain is wired to reward completion. Every time you finish even a small habit, drinking water, stretching, making your bed, writing one line in a journal, your brain releases a small amount of dopamine. Dopamine reinforces the behavior and makes you want to repeat it. This is why tiny habits compound into massive transformations. But here's the key. Dopamine rewards consistency, not intensity. A giant burst of effort once in a while doesn't rewire your mind. A small habit you repeat daily does. This is why starting your morning with something simple but meaningful is more powerful than forcing yourself into an exhausting routine. Your brain cares more about rhythm than force. Another psychological truth is the concept of identity-triggered behavior. You perform actions that align with the identity you believe yourself to have. When you identify as someone who is disciplined, productive, focused, purposeful, and committed, you behave accordingly. When you identify as someone who struggles, procrastinates, or lacks control, your habits will reflect that too. This is why the language you use around your morning matters. Saying, "I'm trying to wake up earlier," reinforces struggle. Saying, "I am someone who controls my morning," reinforces ownership. The identity shift must happen before the behavior becomes natural. Once identity shifts, discipline becomes automatic. Another crucial psychological element is emotional priming. Mornings set your emotional temperature. If you wake up stressed, you stay stressed. If you wake up overwhelmed, you stay overwhelmed. But if you intentionally create calm, focus, gratitude, clarity, or determination at the beginning of your morning, these emotions carry into your day. This is not motivation. It is emotional conditioning. The final psychological pillar is purpose. Humans naturally protect what they value. If your morning routine feels pointless or abstract, you will abandon it. But when your routine is directly tied to your goals, your dreams, your financial future, your self-respect, your self-worth, or your mission in life, your brain treats it differently. Purpose makes discipline feel natural. Purpose gives habits meaning. Purpose turns a routine into a system of transformation. Think about this. Your morning is the one part of the day you have complete control over. No messages, no responsibilities, no noise, no demands, no chaos, unless you allow it. When you master your mornings, every other part of your life becomes easier. Better decisions, better habits, better focus, better energy, better discipline, better results. Productivity rises. Confidence expands. Clarity strengthens. Your entire life elevates because the foundation beneath it becomes stronger. Part 4. The First Hour Framework. Designing the foundation of a successful morning. If you want a morning routine that transforms your life, you cannot rely on randomness. You need a structure, a system that ensures success even on days when motivation is low, when you feel tired, when life gets noisy, or when the world demands more from you than usual. This structure is your anchor. It grounds you. It keeps you aligned with your goals and reminds you who you are becoming. This is where the First Hour Framework comes in. It is not a rigid list of chores. It is a sequence built to elevate your mind, your energy, your clarity, and your identity within the first 60 minutes of your day. When the first hour is powerful, the rest of the day follows that rhythm. To build this, we begin with understanding the 4 critical phases of the first hour: awakening, activation, alignment, and acceleration. Awakening is about preparing your internal systems for the day. Your mind and body have just transitioned from rest to alertness. This period is sensitive. What you do in the first few minutes influences your stress levels, cognitive performance, and emotional stability for hours. The goal is not to rush. The goal is to rise with intention. The first mistake most people make is grabbing their phone immediately. This jolts the brain into a reactive state, spikes cortisol, and scatters attention. The First Hour Framework begins without digital distraction. Before anything else, breathe, orient yourself, acknowledge the new day, and step into control. A slow start is more powerful than a chaotic start. Your brain needs calm before performance. The next component of awakening is hydration. After hours of sleep, your body is dehydrated. Dehydration directly impacts focus, energy, digestion, metabolism, and even your mood. Drinking water first thing is not a small habit. It directly influences your ability to think clearly and perform at a high level. Hydration wakes up your cells. It prepares your body for movement, clarity, and productivity. Once you are awake and hydrated, you transition into activation. Activation is where you generate physical energy. Your body is a machine, and movement is the spark that turns it on. This doesn't have to be a full workout. It can be stretching, walking, mobility, yoga, or even a few minutes of controlled breathing combined with light movement. What matters is stimulation. Movement increases blood flow to the brain, boosts oxygen, and triggers biochemical processes that enhance alertness and discipline. Physical activation also reinforces identity. The moment you begin your day with action, your brain associates you with momentum. Action is not just something you do. It becomes who you are. You become someone who moves, someone who takes charge, someone who leads their day with purpose. After activation comes alignment. Alignment is the mental and emotional structure of your morning. This is where clarity is built. This is where you connect your identity with your goals. This is where you bring order to your thoughts instead of allowing randomness to dominate your life. Alignment includes reflection, writing, meditation, gratitude, or any form of mindful practice. The purpose is to check in with yourself before you check in with the world. You ask questions that matter. What is my intention today? What is the one thing I need to get done? What emotions do I want to bring into my day? What do I need to avoid to stay focused? This is how you shift from drifting through life to deliberately directing it. When you align your mind early in the day, you build emotional stability, mental strength, and clarity. You reduce anxiety because you have a plan. You feel in control because your attention is centered. You move with purpose because your identity is aligned with your goals. This alignment also builds resilience. Challenges feel smaller because your mind is grounded. Distractions lose their power because your direction is clear. You no longer react emotionally to everything around you. You respond from a centered state. Once you are aligned, you enter the final phase, acceleration. Acceleration is the point where you convert preparation into forward motion. This is where planning, prioritization, and execution begin. A powerful day requires clarity of what truly matters. Without clarity, you move in circles. With clarity, you move with force. Acceleration includes organizing your top priorities, setting your goals for the day, identifying your single most important task, and eliminating unnecessary distractions. This is not about building a long to-do list. Long lists drain energy and create overwhelm. The most successful people in the world work from intention, not volume. They choose a few things that matter and execute them with discipline. Acceleration is also about aligning your morning routines with your long-term goals. Every habit you perform should point toward the person you are becoming. Every decision in the first hour should reflect your future self. If your vision is big, your morning must be structured. If your ambitions are meaningful, your routines must support them. The first hour framework functions as a psychological and physiological launchpad. It strengthens your mind. It energizes your body. It calms your emotions. It clarifies your priorities. It reinforces your identity. It ensures that the first hour of your day builds momentum that lasts for the next 10 to 12 hours. Imagine a morning where you rise with clarity, move with purpose, think with intention, and execute with confidence. Imagine a morning where you are not rushed, not reactive, not scattered, not confused. Imagine a morning that builds you, supports your goals, elevates your standards, and strengthens the most disciplined parts of you. Part 6. Eliminating morning stress and mental clutter. Even the best morning routine can collapse if stress, noise, or mental clutter takes over before your mind has a chance to anchor itself. This is where many people fail, not because they lack discipline, but because their environment and internal dialogue sabotage them before the day truly begins. The power of a successful morning depends as much on what you remove as what you add. The goal of this part is simple. Eliminate the unnecessary, the chaotic, the distracting, and the mentally draining elements that weaken your focus and steal your momentum. When you reduce clutter externally and internally, you free up energy that can be used for discipline, clarity, creativity, and progress. One of the first sources of morning stress is environmental chaos. Many people begin their day surrounded by cluttered rooms, disorganized spaces, or piles of unfinished tasks, visible the moment they open their eyes. Whether they realize it or not, this visual noise triggers anxiety in the brain. A messy environment signals incompleteness. It tells your mind things are out of order, life is out of control, and you are already behind. A powerful morning is built on order. This is why a clean, simplified environment is one of the most overlooked morning performance tools. When you wake up in a space that feels clean, intentional, and calm, your brain mirrors the environment. This reduces stress, boosts clarity, and creates a sense of control. It is not about perfection. It is about creating a foundation your mind can trust. Even small environmental adjustments change everything. Preparing clothes the night before eliminates decision fatigue. Having water ready eliminates distraction. Keeping your phone out of reach eliminates reactive behavior. Creating a designated spot for your morning routine eliminates wasted time. When your environment supports your habits become automatic. Another major contributor to morning stress is mental clutter. The mind holds on to unresolved tasks, unfinished responsibilities, worries, and emotional pressure. When you wake up carrying yesterday's problems, you carry them into today's potential. That potential gets crushed under weight you could have released. Mental clutter often comes from three places: open loops, emotional residue, and unfiltered thoughts. Open loops are unfinished tasks, things you didn't complete, conversations you need to have, obligations you haven't planned for, decisions still waiting for action. These float around in your mind, draining energy. The brain dislikes ambiguity. It wants closure. When you go to sleep with open loops, you wake up with them. This is why a simple evening planning routine makes your mornings dramatically calmer. Writing down your top priorities, listing tasks, or even making a short plan for the next day signals to your brain that things are under control. This allows you to wake up with clarity rather than confusion. The mind can rest when it knows a plan exists. The second source of mental clutter is emotional residue. These are the emotions left over from yesterday. Stress from work, conflict with someone, frustration over setbacks, disappointment in yourself, or pressure from expectations. Without emotional processing, these feelings carry over into the morning. They cloud your clarity and weaken your intention. This is where morning alignment practices such as journaling, mindful breathing, or reflection become powerful. They give you emotional release. They help you reset. They create space for calm, intentional energy instead of unresolved tension. You cannot bring yesterday's negativity into today's opportunity and expect a productive day. The third source of mental clutter is unfiltered thinking. When you wake up and immediately let your mind wander, you give power to random thoughts, worries, and distractions. The brain is at its most open state in the morning. If you do not direct your mind directs you. This is why the first few minutes must be intentional. Your thoughts need guidance, not freedom to roam. A powerful morning begins with mental order. Another key element to eliminating morning stress is controlling inputs. Everything you consume in the morning influences your emotional and mental state. This includes news, messages, opinions, social media, and the energy of the people around you. If you let the world in too early, you lose control of your mental temperature. Your morning should be quiet before it becomes loud. It should be internal before it becomes external. It should be reflective before it becomes responsive. Protecting your mind from early chaos is one of the most effective ways to build discipline and clarity. What you allow into your mind first becomes the lens through which you see the rest of the day. If you start with negativity, everything feels heavier. If you start with anxiety, everything feels urgent. If you start with distraction, everything feels scattered. But if you start with clarity, the day feels structured. If you start with intention, everything feels purposeful. If you start with peace, you stay grounded. This is why mentally quiet mornings lead to emotionally strong days. Another overlooked source of morning stress is rushing. Rushing triggers survival mode. It increases cortisol, spikes heart rate, and puts your brain into a reactive state. People often rush because they wake up late, underestimate time, or fill their morning with unnecessary tasks. But when you rush, even small problems feel big, and simple tasks feel overwhelming. To eliminate rushing, you must build margin into your morning. Margin is the buffer between tasks, the space that prevents crisis, the breathing room that keeps your mind calm. Margin turns discipline into sustainability. Without margin, even the best routines collapse. Margin also protects you from unexpected disruptions. Life will always throw surprises, messages, responsibilities, family needs, or sudden interruptions. A strong routine has space for adjustments without losing control. When your morning has margin, you stay grounded even when things shift. The final piece of eliminating morning stress is simplifying expectations. Many people overload their morning routine with too many activities, turning it into a stressful checklist instead of an empowering ritual. A morning routine should energize you, not exhaust you. It should strengthen you, not pressure you. It should feel like alignment, not punishment. The simplest routines are often the most powerful because they are sustainable. A routine is only effective if you can repeat it daily. The purpose of eliminating stress and clutter is not to make your life easier. It is to make your discipline stronger. Stress drains discipline. Clutter destroys focus. Noise weakens intention. When you clear these obstacles, your morning becomes a place of power, not pressure. With a calm mind and an ordered environment, your morning routine becomes a force that elevates every area of your life. Part 7. Transform your morning routine for success. The power of small wins before 9 a.m. A morning routine isn't only about waking up early. It's about stacking small victories that shift your identity, increase your confidence, and prime your brain for high performance. When the first hours of your day are disciplined, the rest of the day tends to follow the same pattern. Small wins work because they give your brain a quick hit of momentum. A simple action, like making your bed, drinking water, or completing a short workout, signals to your subconscious that you're in control. You set a standard early, and that standard spills into everything else. High performers don't wait for motivation. They manufacture it by creating a consistent sequence of morning wins. Your routine doesn't need to be perfect or complex, but it must be intentional. The goal is not to check off tasks. It's to consistently become the kind of person who sets the tone instead of reacting to it. Start with a grounding ritual. Your grounding ritual should reconnect you with your goals, your identity, and your desired energy for the day. This may include a short breathing exercise, journaling prompts, a quick visualization, affirmations focused on who you are becoming, a gratitude list to shift your mental state. These simple steps help you silence distractions and lower emotional noise. You shift from subconscious autopilot into deliberate control. When you begin your day centered rather than chaotic, your decisions throughout the day are sharper, calmer, and more aligned with your priorities. Movement that activates, not exhausts. Many people skip morning routines because they imagine they need a full gym session. But morning movement should be less about intensity and more about activation. Your goal is simple. Wake up your body. Wake up your brain. Wake up your discipline. Options include a 10-minute stretch, a short brisk walk, bodyweight exercises, light cardio, yoga or mobility work. Movement boosts dopamine, increases focus, and strengthens motivation pathways. When you move your body early, you're far more productive, optimistic, and mentally resilient throughout the day. Fuel for clarity and performance. Your morning fuel, what you eat, drink, and consume mentally, either enhances your performance or drains it. Prioritize inputs that sharpen your clarity. Water first, to rehydrate and boost brain function. A protein-focused breakfast to stabilize energy. Minimal sugar to avoid crashes. Avoiding chaotic news or social media. Listening to something educational, inspiring, or calming. Your brain is the most impressionable in the morning. Guard what you expose it to. Pouring negativity or overstimulation into your mind immediately after waking will disrupt your ability to focus for hours. Choose inputs that support your goals, not distract from them. Create one win toward your goals before the world wakes up. The most successful people take at least one step toward their long-term goals before they respond to the world's demands. Before replying to messages. Before checking notifications. Before reacting to life. This is sacred time. You could study for your career. Build a skill. Read 5 pages. Plan your day. Work on a passion project. Review your financial goals. This is the hour where you build the life you want not the life you're pressured into. Consistency over intensity. People fail at morning routines not because the routines are ineffective, but because they try to overhaul everything at once. You don't need dramatic change. You need repeatable change. Start with 1 or 2 small habits. Make them part of your identity. Expand from there. Consistency compounds. Identity solidifies. Success becomes predictable. When you become someone who consistently wins the morning, you begin to consistently win your life. Part 8. Transform your morning routine for success. Detach from distractions and reclaim your attention. One of the greatest threats to a productive morning is the constant pull of distraction. Your phone notifications, social platforms, and digital noise compete for your mind immediately after waking. If you allow them to win the first battle of the day, your focus, mood, and decision-making ability decline before your day even starts. The key to transforming your mornings is simple. Protect your attention at all costs. Attention is your most valuable currency. When you waste it early, your productivity suffers. When you guard it, you take control of your life. A powerful morning routine eliminates unnecessary noise, reduces decision fatigue, and creates clarity. It trains your brain to prioritize what matters most. You don't need to cut out technology entirely. Just set boundaries that protect your mental space. Your goal is to begin the day in a calm, intentional state, not a reactive one. Avoid instant stimulation first thing in the morning. Your brain is highly sensitive when you wake up. The first things you see or consume create emotional momentum that can last hours. This is why opening your phone immediately is harmful. It floods you with information and pressure before your mind is ready. Avoid these in the first hour. Scrolling social media, checking messages, watching entertainment content, reading stressful news, opening notifications. These hijack your thoughts and push you into reaction mode. You start the day following someone else's agenda instead of your own. The moment your attention is scattered, your day becomes harder to manage. Instead, give your mind silence, space, or focus. Build a low-noise, high-clarity environment. Your environment shapes your behavior more than your motivation does. If your mornings feel chaotic, the root problem often lies in your setup, not your willpower. Design your space to make clarity easy. Keep your phone out of reach. Lay out your clothes the night before. Keep your journal or planner on your desk. Place your book where you will see it. Prepare your water bottle. Keep your morning items organized and visible. When your environment supports your routine, your mind experiences less friction. You remove excuses. You reduce wasted energy. You make success effortless. The less resistance you face, the easier it becomes to stay consistent. Practice mindful presence. The ability to focus deeply is becoming rare. Most people live in constant mental noise, thinking of the past, worrying about the future, or drowning in digital stimulation. A morning routine helps you train a skill that directly impacts success. Presence. Presence allows you to think clearly, make better decisions, and stay composed under pressure. It influences your emotional well-being and enhances your productivity. You can develop presence with a minute of slow breathing, a few lines of reflective journaling, a quiet moment of stillness, observing your surroundings without judgment, a simple gratitude practice. This doesn't take long, but it conditions your mind to slow down, process information more effectively, and approach the day with stability. Strengthen your identity through morning intentions. Identity shapes behavior more consistently than motivation. Each morning, remind yourself of the person you are becoming. I am someone who follows through. I am someone who uses my time intentionally. I am someone who keeps my promises to myself. I am someone who respects my mental space. These statements are not just words. They align your actions with your desired identity. When you repeat them consistently, Your brain begins to shift. Your discipline strengthens. Your habits become natural rather than forced. Your morning routine becomes an expression of who you are, not just something you do. Give yourself room to transition into the day. Many people rush from bed into action, creating stress and irritation. Success grows from intentional transitions, not abrupt jumps. Create space to wake up your mind, stretch your body, breathe, and orient yourself. This gentle transition increases your resilience, reduces anxiety, and gives you a sense of control. This is where your day transforms from chaotic to intentional. By managing transitions, you manage your life. Your morning is a mental foundation. Every habit, decision, and goal you pursue becomes easier when your mornings are structured with clarity. The discipline you develop early sets the tone for your productivity, emotional balance, and long-term success. Transforming your morning routine isn't about perfection. It's about direction. It's about choosing habits that elevate your mind instead of draining it. You are building a foundation that supports the life you want, not the life you're pushed into. Your mornings are your advantage. Your discipline is your leverage. Your attention is your power. Part 9. Transform your morning routine for success. Master the power of consistency. A morning routine is only as strong as your consistency. Anyone can wake up early once or twice. Anyone can meditate, read, or journal for a day or two. But the people who experience true transformation understand one thing. Consistency beats intensity. Your goal is not to create a perfect routine. It is to create a sustainable one. Most people fail because they try to do too much at once. They start with a long list of morning habits, feel motivated for a week, then crash. The routine collapses because it wasn't built for real life. Consistency comes from simplicity, not complexity. When your routine is short, clear, and friction-free, it becomes automatic. A powerful morning routine is built on small, repeatable behaviors that compound over time. Remove the barriers that break your routine. If your routine keeps falling apart, the reason is usually not lack of discipline. It's excess friction. Common friction points include not sleeping early enough, feeling rushed in the morning, a cluttered environment, too many steps to follow, depending on motivation, relying on your phone for everything, staying in bed too long, a routine that is unrealistic for your lifestyle. These invisible barriers exhaust your willpower before your day begins. To succeed, eliminate obstacles before they appear. Prepare the night before. Simplify the process. Set up your tools. Make your environment support you. Create triggers that guide your behavior automatically. The fewer decisions you need to make, the more consistent you become. Use habit anchors to lock in success. A habit anchor attaches a new habit to something you already do. It turns your routine into a smooth, predictable sequence. Examples. After brushing your teeth, drink a glass of water. After making your bed, stretch for 1 minute. After sitting at your desk, write your top goals. After waking up, open your journal instead of your phone. Anchors reduce mental effort. They turn habits into a chain reaction. Once one habit starts, the next one automatically follows. This design makes your morning routine feel natural instead of forced. Build emotional consistency, not just physical discipline. Many people think morning routines are only about actions, waking up early, exercising, meditating. But deeper transformation happens when you master your emotions each morning. Your emotional state influences your focus, discipline, relationships, and decision-making. A successful morning routine stabilizes your emotions, so you operate from clarity, not chaos. You do this by checking in with yourself, asking, "How am I feeling today?" Breathing deeply, regulating your pace, practicing gratitude, controlling your self-talk. This simple emotional reset creates resilience. It helps you handle stress, pressure, and unexpected challenges throughout the day. When your emotions are steady, your performance rises naturally. Make your morning routine a non-negotiable. You are building a new standard for your life. Not a preference. Not a when I feel like it habit. A non-negotiable. A non-negotiable is something you do regardless of mood, weather, fatigue, or excuses. It is a self-contract, a promise you refuse to break. When your morning becomes non-negotiable, you stop relying on motivation. You stop letting comfort lead. You stop allowing exceptions. You stop restarting over and over. You build trust with yourself. The greatest benefit is psychological. Every time you follow your morning routine, you strengthen your identity as someone who does what they say they will do. That identity fuels every part of your life. Shift from motivation to identity-based discipline. Motivation fades. Mood changes. Willpower fluctuates. But identity remains. When you base your morning routine on the identity you want to embody, your behavior shifts automatically. Instead of saying, I need to wake up early, you say, I am someone who starts the day with intention. Instead of, I need to plan my day, you say, I am someone who leads, not reacts. This shift is the foundation of long-lasting consistency. You don't follow the routine because you have to. You follow it because it reflects who you are becoming. Reinforce the routine with small wins. Small wins create momentum. Momentum creates confidence. Confidence fuels consistency. Every morning, aim for quick, meaningful wins that set the tone for the day. Make your bed. Drink water. Write your top priorities. Read a few pages. Move your body. Reflect on your goals. These small wins act as psychological cues. You are in control. You are disciplined. You are moving forward. They matter more than you might think. Success is not built on massive breakthroughs. It's built on a collection of small wins repeated consistently. Why most people quit and why you won't. Most people quit their morning routine because they expect perfection. They try to change too fast. They create unrealistic habits. They rely on motivation. They feel guilty after missing a day. They don't understand identity-based habits. Your advantage is awareness. Your advantage is intentionality. Your advantage is structure. You are designing your routine strategically, not impulsively. You won't quit because you're not building a morning routine. You're building a new life standard. You're designing the foundation of your success. Consistency is not a chore. It's a competitive advantage. Part 10. In this part, we focus on mastering mental clarity and focus through morning routines. Many high achievers credit their success to starting the day with mental sharpness and an organized mindset. By developing habits that enhance focus, you set the stage for productivity, creativity, and meaningful achievements throughout the day. The science of morning mental clarity. Morning is often the most powerful time to engage your brain because reduced cognitive load. Your mind is fresh after rest, making it easier to focus on complex tasks. Lower stress levels. Cortisol peaks naturally in the morning, helping alertness, while early intentional routines reduce anxiety. Better decision making. Early in the day, your brain is less fatigued, leading to more rational, strategic decisions. Enhanced creativity. Quiet morning moments allow space for innovative ideas and problem solving. Habits that enhance mental clarity. Mindful meditation. Spending 10 to 15 minutes in meditation helps clear mental clutter and improve attention. Journaling thoughts and priorities. Writing down key tasks and intentions for the day focuses your mind and reduces distraction. Movement and exercise. Light exercise or stretching increases blood flow to the brain, boosting cognitive performance. Hydration and nutrition. A balanced breakfast and proper hydration are critical for optimal brain function. Digital minimalism. Avoid emails, social media, or news first thing in the morning to preserve mental energy. Case study: mental clarity in action. Consider Thomas, an entrepreneur who struggled with scattered focus. By incorporating a structured morning routine, including meditation, journaling, and exercise, he noticed increased productivity and sharper decision-making. Complex problem-solving tasks that previously took hours were completed more efficiently. His sense of calm and focus carried into meetings, negotiations, and creative work, leading to tangible business growth. Thomas's transformation illustrates that the morning routine is not just a ritual. It is a strategic tool for sharpening the mind and elevating daily performance. Practical steps for readers. Establish a morning power hour. Dedicate the first 60 minutes to activities that enhance mental clarity, such as meditation, journaling, and exercise. Prioritize important tasks first. Identify the top 3 most critical tasks of the day and address them when your mind is most alert. Incorporate reflection time. Spend a few minutes reviewing long-term goals and daily intentions to align actions with purpose. Avoid digital distractions. Keep phones, emails, and social media away during your power hour to maintain focus. Track progress and adjust. Monitor how your morning routine impacts clarity, productivity, and mood, refining habits over time. Key takeaways. Mental clarity is a critical advantage in achieving consistent daily success. Structured morning routines help reduce cognitive overload, stress, and distractions. Meditation, journaling, movement, and proper nutrition enhance focus and creativity. Avoiding early digital distractions preserves energy for strategic tasks. Developing a disciplined morning routine transforms the mind into a powerful, productive tool. By mastering mental clarity in the morning, you start each day with purpose, focus, and heightened ability to achieve your goals, laying a foundation for both personal and professional success. Part 11. In this part, we focus on developing consistency and accountability in your morning routine, which is the key factor separating successful individuals from those who struggle to maintain momentum. A routine is only effective if it is repeated consistently over time and tied to a clear sense of purpose. The power of consistency. Consistency turns actions into habits and habits into automatic behaviors that drive long-term results. Without consistency, even the best morning routine fails to produce lasting benefits. Compounding effect of habits. Small, daily actions accumulate into massive results over months and years. Reduces decision fatigue. A set routine eliminates unnecessary decisions, conserving energy for critical tasks. Strengthens self-discipline. Repeating actions daily reinforces willpower and self-control, which are essential for success. Builds momentum. Completing the same productive actions daily creates a forward driving force that propels your entire day. Accountability methods. Tracking your routine. Use journals, planners, or habit tracking apps to monitor adherence and progress. Setting clear goals. Link your morning routine to specific personal and professional outcomes, such as increased productivity, fitness, or mental clarity. Public accountability. Share goals with mentors, friends, or online communities to reinforce commitment. Reward systems. Celebrate milestones and consistent streaks to motivate continued adherence. Self-reflection. Daily or weekly review of progress reinforces learning and strengthens motivation. Overcoming common barriers. Many people struggle to maintain morning routines due to inconsistent sleep patterns. Prioritize sleep hygiene and regular bedtime to ensure energy for morning activities. Lack of clear goals. Without knowing the purpose behind your routine, motivation will wane. External distractions. Control your environment by limiting digital distractions, noise, or interruptions. Overly ambitious plans. Start small and scale gradually to ensure routines are sustainable. Case study. Consistency in action. Consider Rachel, who initially struggled to wake up early and maintain a morning routine. She began by committing to just 20 minutes of focused morning activities, journaling and stretching. Over weeks, she gradually added meditation, reading, and goal review. By tracking her progress and sharing her routine with an accountability partner, she maintained consistency even during busy periods. Within months, her productivity, focus, and mood improved dramatically, and she experienced measurable progress toward her long-term goals. Rachel's journey demonstrates that small, consistent actions, reinforced by accountability, compound into extraordinary results over time. Practical steps for readers. Start small. Begin with 10 to 20 minutes of high-impact activities and gradually build your routine. Set a fixed wake-up time. A consistent wake-up time aligns your body clock and strengthens discipline. Use a habit tracker. Monitor adherence to your routine and celebrate streaks to maintain momentum. Create a morning ritual checklist. Visualize each step and mark completion to reinforce progress. Reflect and adjust weekly. Review what works, eliminate distractions, and fine-tune your routine to maximize benefits. Key takeaways. Consistency is the cornerstone of an effective morning routine. Tracking, goal setting, and accountability reinforce adherence. Overcoming barriers requires small, gradual steps and self-reflection. Daily routines build momentum, self-discipline, and compounding benefits over time. With consistent practice, your morning routine becomes a powerful engine that drives success throughout your life. By mastering consistency and accountability, you transform your morning routine from a set of actions into an unstoppable force for productivity, clarity, and long-term achievement.